Kathy, could you do roll call, please?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Combs. Mr. Hinchey.
Present.
Mr. Luther. Ms. Nelson.
Present.
Ms. Reclue.
Present.
Mr. Stone.
Present.
Mr. Washington.
Here.
Mr. West.
Here.
6 council members present, quorum met.
Thank you, Kathy. Next, we'll have comments from visitors. I ask that you keep your comments to 3 minutes or less.
So my name is Jennifer DeLashmutt. I reside at 3405 County Road 328. My husband has been the one coming, but has since went back to work, so he asked if I could come and share a story. They've been here talking about the airport and the impact it has on the economy, or the felt economic impact in our county. His flight instructor, when he started taking lessons, was in Lincoln, Nebraska. Since then, he has come this way and visited us numerous times. He has flown from here to Alabama to take courses of his own and back and forth. While here, we took him to, obviously, all of our local restaurants and GoPo. He took popcorn to Alabama. Those people have since started purchasing popcorn from Brooke at GoPo. He's taken it to Oshkosh, which is a big airplane. I really don't know. Airplanes aren't my thing. But so when we start looking at that, those little things like that, someone stopping by and just visiting within our community has an impact for our local businesses. It doesn't seem like there's a lot, but the city does get the taxes from that and goes on. So our next part with that was we recently went to Kansas City. And they had a QR code in the airport that you could scan and kind of tell them where you were going, where you were spending your money, what you were doing in the area. He has recently went to Rock Springs, Wyoming, because that's where he's working at. They don't have a QR code, but they have a paper version of that same thing. So we'd like to try to see if that's something we can implement for our airport so we can track these, and so the council as a whole can also see where people who are coming to visit are spending their money within our community. So that's all I have.
We're the Sargent family and the Davison family. Our address is 2 Holly Court, Fulton, Missouri.
The Davison family's address is 1003 Laurel Place.
We are the Sargent and Davison families, 2 homeschooling families living in Fulton. We are here to speak about the benefits of allowing residents to keep backyard chickens, even on properties under 1 acre.
Good evening, members of the Fulton City Council, and thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak today. My name is Micah Sargent, and I am here to advocate for permitting residents of Fulton, even those with less than an acre of land, to keep backyard hens. Backyard chickens offer numerous benefits, including providing fresh eggs, promoting sustainable living, and offering educational opportunities for families. Many cities in Missouri have recognized these advantages and have ordinances in place to allow residents to keep hens responsibly. For instance, Columbia permits residents to keep up to 6 hens for non-commercial use. The ordinance requires that chickens be kept in enclosures located in the backyard at least 10 feet from property lines and 25 feet from adjacent residential dwellings. Roosters are not allowed, which keeps noise disturbances to a minimum. Likewise, Jefferson City allows residents to keep chickens within city limits. Coops or outdoor enclosures must be at least 100 feet from neighboring dwellings, unless written permission is obtained. The city emphasizes maintaining cleanliness to prevent odors and pests, ensuring backyard poultry does not cause a problem for their owners or neighbors. A particularly relevant example is Mexico, Missouri, a city similar in size and demographics to Fulton. In 2023, the Mexico City Council revised its chicken ordinance to be more inclusive. Residents are allowed to keep backyard hens with a one-time $10 permit. Additionally, restrictions were modified to accommodate for more residents while maintaining responsible chicken keeping practices. These examples demonstrate that with clear regulations such as limiting the number of hens, prohibiting roosters, and enforcing proper coop placement and maintenance, backyard chickens can be integrated into urban settings without causing disturbances. Additionally, recent state legislation, House Bill 2062 in Missouri, supports the keeping of backyard chickens. A law enacted in August 2024 prohibits homeowners associations from banning backyard chickens on lots of at least 0.2 acres, allowing up to 6 chickens. This reflects a growing recognition of the benefits of backyard poultry and sets a standard for local government to consider similar allowances. By adapting to similar laws, Fulton can join other successful Missouri cities in encouraging sustainable living practices. Applying regulations that secure responsible chicken keeping, such as involving fenced yards, well-maintained coops, and proper disinfection standards, can address possible worries about noise, odors, and property values. We urge the council to consider these points and allow Fulton residents, regardless of lot size, the opportunity to responsibly keep backyard hens. This initiative can enhance our community's sustainability and provide educational and nutritional benefits to our families. Thank you for your time and consideration.
It doesn't go down. Okay. Oh, there you go.
Raising chickens teaches families through hands-on experience about responsibility, animal care, and food production. Evelyn Sargent. I want chickens to have an experience that others might not get to have, and I want Fulton to be comparable to other cities. Maddie Sargent. I'm Cheryl. I want to get a chicken because their droppings are good for the throat and their eggs are good to eat. Shiloh. Hi, my name is Micah, and I want to get chickens because their eggs are good for your body.
Thank you guys so much. This all came because we had an opportunity to do an incubator with chicken eggs. And after this, Micah asked me if we could get chickens to keep. And I said, sorry, we're not allowed to. He said, well, we need to ask if we can. So this all came from that. And the Sargent family joined in with us also.
Great.
Thank you.
Miss Deputy Mayor, if I may. So I appreciate the input, and we got an email. Do any of you know, is it Lily Grant? Lily Grant. She emailed Mr. Hinge and I in January, so we've been working on this ever since, but it's great to get additional input requesting this, so thank you. I guess with the price of eggs, everybody's kind of interested in raising chickens. All right.
I
But thank you very
appreciate, too, the fact that you brought the kids with you.
much. Yeah.
So start them young.
That's awesome. Maybe we'll see some of you sitting up here someday.
That's right. Any other comments from visitors? Seeing none, we do have the need for a public hearing to consider the request for repurposing, rezoning of attractive land at 720 State Highway O in Fulton. The format of the hearing will be as follows. I will issue 3 calls for anyone wishing to speak in opposition and 3 calls for anyone wishing to speak in favor. If you would come to the podium, state your name. You'll have 3 minutes. First call for anyone wishing to speak in opposition. Second call for anyone wishing to speak in opposition. Third call for anyone wishing to speak in opposition. Seeing none. First call for anyone wishing to speak in favor. Second call for anyone wishing to speak in favor. Third call for anyone wishing to speak in favor. Seeing none, this public hearing is closed. We'll now return to our regular agenda. Next, we have the approval of the consent agenda.
Move for approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
Can we list the items for the audience?
And I was gonna ask, I wanted to ask a question for clarification too, but you wanna do that, or?
Go ahead.
Okay, so my question is, there's a couple of them that are marked requesting, waiver of fees, but I think the facilities that they're being requested to use don't require any fees anyway. Is that a correct statement?
That's a correct statement.
Okay, great, thank you. I wanted to make sure that was clear.
And I will just go through and read these, that way everyone knows what's on the consent agenda. We have the City Council meeting minutes of February 25th, the appointment of Sylvia, and I apologize if I say your name incorrectly, Strew, okay, to the Human Rights Commission for a partial 3-year term to expire in July of 2026. The Callaway County Humane Society Easter Egg Hunt for Dogs, which is April 13th, 2025. Fulton High School's Prom Promenade, April 26th. Callaway County Humane Society Annual Dog Washing Event on June 14th. The Kingdom Pilots Association Annual Pancake Breakfast and Fly-In on September 6th. And the Callaway County Humane Society Dog Jog 5K Fun Run, October 25th.
We have a motion and a second on the table. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Consent agenda approved. Does not look like that we have any consent agenda items for discussion. The presentation and acceptance of the February DOA report.
Perfect, thank you very much. So as you guys will see, we had a lot of different projects that we began in the month of February. So infrastructure and utility projects and a lot of economic development things that are currently underway as well. So most of our staff members are here tonight. We're happy to answer any questions you might have. I will note, because you'll be seeing the financial statement as our next business item, Dustin's not with us tonight, so we do have a few people gone, and we can definitely get answers to your questions after the fact if you'll just let me know.
Any questions on the DOA report?
Not,
Mike?
not really question, but I wanted to note on page 6, and I saw it somewhere else too, and I happened to be actually at the Recplex the day that the new equipment was it cardio equipment was delivered. I was wondering how that had been received, or is it well received by the users of the facility? And I also wanted to note all these different events: a father-daughter dance. We had 80 people. A You and Me paint party, which sounds interesting. 27 attendance. Mini cheer 28. Youth cheer 20. Youth kickball 95. So that was a lot of very successful events.
Slow, sorry.
Yeah, you're not quite that short.
I'm not. Charlene McArthur, Park Superintendent. It's my belief that it has been very well received, the new equipment. We did a demo day, and we had a representative from Johnson Fitness. That's where we received or we're leasing the equipment through. The individual came, and we kind of did a raffle with a couple of different things. He was there for about 4 hours and ran a couple of people through how to use different pieces of equipment. We also recorded videos so that we can use in the future to post on social media so that other people have the opportunity to learn and see how they can use those pieces of equipment. Overall, we've had positive feedback. We haven't had anybody that's addressed missing any pieces of equipment. We did add several different opportunities in there that are different from what we had before. We have a piece of equipment that is wheelchair accessible. We have a piece of equipment that's a total body piece. It's kind of like climbing a ladder. We haven't quite got it set up to internet, but it is a wireless web-based program that you can do a workout on. So that's one thing we're shoring up. But I feel like overall most people have had good feedback. There's a piece that is very popular that kind of surprised me. It's a sit-down piece, but you move your arms and your legs. It's kind of like a sit-down elliptical.
Oh, wow.
And that piece has been very heavily used, so.
Good, that's great
But
to
yeah.
hear. I don't know, I didn't count how many people were there assembling all that equipment, it was like 10 or so.
Yeah,
It was
I would
like-
say about 10.
And I was like, this is almost like a kid on Christmas morning, all the new toys, you know.
Yeah, they
so-
had 2 crews, so like a crew just removed all of the pieces, and then they had a second crew come in and assemble
yeah,
everything, so.
it was
It went
really-
through pretty
really
quickly.
neat, so,
Yeah.
Great.
Charlene, that last piece you described sounds like a piece of physical therapy equipment.
Correct.
So probably what you're seeing is people who may have graduated from physical therapy, but now they have an opportunity to go to the Recplex and use that same piece of equipment all on their own.
I'm glad you mentioned that. There's an individual that had open heart surgery, and it is the exact piece that his doctor recommended, so, yeah.
Is it, so, a little bit personal here, when I've tried to use ellipticals, it's a little bit hard on my knees. I'm wondering how that piece of equipment is on somebody's knees. Are you had any feedback on it? Yeah,
So it gives you all the range of motion and tension without all the weight.
yeah, that might.
If you want to stop by, I'm happy to show you how to use it, Mike.
Promise. I'll be happy to do that sometime.
Yeah.
But I think it's a great addition, so I hope the public really takes advantage of all that
Yeah.
equipment, so.
Thank you, guys.
And thank you for getting us the new lease.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for all
Thank
your hard work. I've heard
Thank
really positive feedback about the kickball.
I appreciate that. Thank you very
I'll
much.
echo that too. I have too.
Thank you.
And I move to approve the DOA report.
We have a motion and a second to approve the DOA report. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. DOA report approved. As Courtney stated earlier, Dustin is out. Do we have any questions on the financial report that she might be able to take for us? Can I get a motion for acceptance?
I move to approve the financial report.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the financial statement. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes. No unfinished business. New business. We do need to review and approve a revised meeting date for our April council meetings, and we have to certify the votes once that takes place. And so we do have the need to move those dates for the next council meetings. Looks like that we are proposing a meeting on April 14th at 6:30 and a second meeting on Tuesday, April 29th at 6:30. I'm looking for a motion to approve that.
I make a motion to move our scheduled meeting on April the 8th to April the 14th, and then our scheduled meeting on April the 22nd to April 29th.
Second?
It doesn't happen very often that we have to move our council dates to certify votes, but once an election happens, that is something that we have to do, and that's why we are proposing these dates. Courtney, could you tell us the last time that actually took place?
I actually think Kathy did a little research, and it was 2008, is that
Okay.
correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
not
so it's
very
pretty
often.
rare.
Not very
It's pretty
often.
rare, but as Deputy Mayor Nelson mentioned, we do have to certify those election results within a week per our charter requirements, so that's why we're going to try to make Monday the 14th work. That one's especially important.
And the election day is actually would be our normal meeting, so that's why
Tuesday, yeah.
it'd be kind of difficult. We'd have to be here till 10 or 11 o'clock at night to do
Yeah,
that
all
night.
yeah.
I have only one slight request. Would it be possible to slide the April 14th one to 7 p.m.? Is there any issue with that? I have another meeting that's been moved to that day that normally would be on the Wednesday night. That'd be my only request, but if anybody has any big objections, I'll make it work.
Anybody have any issues with moving that to 7 from 6:30?
Okay.
Do we
thank you.
need a,
If I could, technically, we take pictures at 6, so we'll have to come in at 6:30, or just, do you want to begin pictures at 7?
I could probably be there a little bit before 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna try to get the other meeting moved from 6 up to 5:30 so I can get a little time in
And we'll
between.
Photoshop you in if you're not here.
Yeah. Thank
Maybe
you.
take those pictures right before with a group
Yeah.
and individuals prior.
Thank you, folks. Appreciate that.
So Councilman Stone and Councilwoman Reclue, does your motion still stand with moving that April 14th meeting to 7 PM?
Yes.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. That passes. So we will do 7 o'clock on Monday, April 14th for the next council meeting, and Tuesday, April 29th at 6:30 for the second meeting in April. Moving on to council concerns. Councilman Hinchy.
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Hinchy. Councilman West.
Okay, the Human Rights Commission has not met. Welcome to our new member. That's great. We have someone else in the community to help with that. And the essay, I keep saying essay, the poster contest is going on right now. When does it close, Kathy? April 1st?
4/4 at 4 o'clock, April 4th.
April 4th at 4 o'clock. Well, that's a lot of 4s, isn't it? Anyway, that's good. So, so that's ongoing right now. It's open for kindergartners through 5th grade. So we had an event last Friday, I think it was, at the Housing Authority, and I don't know how well it was attended, but, you know. No one showed up but me and Mary. That's a shame. Well, thank you so much for being there. At least we tried. So probably ill timing with the spring break starting for a lot of schools this week, but we didn't know that when that date was set. So anyway, and I have no concerns at this time, but let's get those posters in so we can have a good judgment. Or a
Thank you,
good
Councilman West.
competition. Thank you.
Councilwoman Reclue.
Yes, there was no public safety meeting, so we will bring information from the next one that we're going to have. My concern is, I noticed the flag at the park at the end of Blufffield. Bottoms, we need a new flag there. It's, yeah. I noticed it the other day. Of course, you know, I'm ex-military wife and whatever, former military wife. So all those things are very important to all of us. Thought I'd bring that up, please. And that's all my concerns I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Reclue. Councilman Stone.
Yes, there was a meeting last Monday of the Historic Preservation Commission. I was unable to attend due to illness. The next scheduled Historic Preservation Commission meeting is April 21st, unless you know something different, Kathy. All right. On the flag, sometimes, we've done that many times where we're able to just cuff it. You can seam it at the end, and you don't have to necessarily replace the entire flag. Just depends how many times you do that. No real concerns tonight. This is my second to last meeting on the council, and just wanted to make sure that everybody keep up the great work. Make sure we focus on the kids. Make sure we protect those pollinators. And keep doing the great work that you're doing. Someone will need to either step in or be appointed to Historic Preservation Commission. And it's a great group of people. They're really starting to get their feet underneath them, and they're going to do some good work here in the next couple of years.
Thank you, Councilman Stone. How many years have you given to the council?
8.
8. 8 great years. You will be missed. Thank you for your service. Councilman Luther is not present. Councilman Combs is also absent. Councilman Washington holding down.
This end of the end. Thank you. The Fulton Park Board had on February 13th told us that the membership were up about 15 and up to 61 or somewhere, and also what was discussed was two different options when it comes to the fee on the renovation of the banquet room, and that's going to be brought to us for later on, I believe, and to make a decision. That has not been brought up to us yet at this time. So other than that, on Crestwood, one of the constituents, some of the people that live in the area, were concerned about the traffic and about the parking and the things like that. And I advised them, I said, the city is working on that. So we are, hopefully that we can start looking into trying to see if we can bring some help in that area for the curbs and sidewalks and stuff like that. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Washington. As everybody could see tonight, unfortunately, Mayor Myers wasn't able to be here. So it's always a privilege to be able to step in for him. There has not been a Public Utility Board meeting since our last council meeting. I would like to say that I had the privilege last night of attending the forum that the NAACP hosted. It was a great event. We had an excellent turnout. I was super proud to sit next to all of the people that were up there and just let our voices be heard. I think it's so important as a community that we show up and that we participate. And I was honored to sit next to all of those people. And I would appreciate the support whenever we go into this election. The most important thing, though, as a community is that we get out and vote. That's our right. This is the people that represent us are the people that are setting up here and the people that are making your voices heard as a community. And so make sure you get out and vote on April 8th. And I personally would appreciate the support. So thank you.
Councilman Nelson, I just want you to know, the word is it was very well received, which the forum was set up, and it was just very well, like you said, with some good questions, and it was addressed to the council as well as those who are running for school board too as well. Thank you.
I think Reverend Jackson did a great job commentating that. All the questions were wonderful, and the questions from the public as well. I appreciated how it was set up very much.
Unfortunately, I had another engagement last night, so I wasn't able to attend, but I'm glad to hear it was it well attended? Were there many people there?
There's quite a few.
There were a few. Yep. Good. Yeah, I was sorry to have missed it, but I was looking forward to. I know the people running for council, and they're not in my ward anyway, so I don't have a decision there. I mean, Bill's running unopposed, but I would have really liked to have heard from the school board members. I really don't know much there at all.
Great job. Very informative.
There were three school board members going up, and one was Joe Bachman, the other one was Andy Bonder, and
Scott Lowe.
It's Scott Lowe, yes.
Yeah. So maybe it'll be a win no matter who wins for us.
And I was very impressed with all the school board's answers. They were very good.
Good.
Along with all the council persons.
Yeah, like I said, I'm sorry I was able to.
Yeah, very informative and very well run. So thank you to the NAACP for hosting that.
And then also, either yesterday or today, started the no excuse in-person voting. And so if you're not able to vote on April the 8th, you can go to the courthouse during the day and vote at any time between now and Election Day.
Thank you, Councilman Stone, for that.
Do we have any report on the IMGA conference that was today?
Hours ago, that one?
Yeah.
Actually, I think as we move into this next resolution, I'm sure Mr. Dunlap will be coming up anyway, so
Okay.
we can provide you a brief update
Absolutely.
on that.
Good.
Moving on to resolutions, Councilman Combs is out tonight. Councilwoman Reclus, would you be willing to read resolution number 3575 for us?
Okay. Resolution 3575, IMGA Agreement Authorization. A resolution of the City of Fulton, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to execute all necessary documents in relation to a long-term agreement with interstate municipal gas agencies, IMGA, to secure natural gas supplies. I make a motion for Resolution 3575 to adopt it at this meeting.
Second.
There he is.
Driving, he's very tired. I think he ate a lot of food. There were so many things today.
Way too much coffee, yeah.
The best Daryl we can get.
Yeah, coffee and sodas, you know. It was a good meeting. We had pretty good speakers. What we basically learned was coming out of this cold winter, I mean, it was cold a lot of January and February, so storage levels are very low.
Yeah.
So they got to be replenished before next summer, which is pushing prices up for the summer on gas. So that's the storage outlook. Also, there's a lot of LNG exports going on. And then with the electric power going more toward natural gas and getting away from coal, that's going to push the prices up also. But that's the good and bad news, I guess. At this morning's board meeting, what this is, this resolution, we haven't been able to do this or try to do this since like 2008. It's a discount rate that you can get on your gas, and it's basically the cost of money between the private and the municipalities. And all the stars got to kind of line up to get it right, so there's a swap. So Georgia Municipal Gas Association's involved in Citibank, and this morning the IMGA resolutions to work with the Georgia group and the IMGA resolution to work with Fulton to do this deal was passed this morning. So the only thing we like is this part tonight. And we're in the pool for the discount. They're waiting for the market to settle correctly. They thought it might a week or so ago, but it didn't. So we're looking at hopefully it settling. And if it does, our first discount should be in November. It's a 30-year deal, and you can't go over 70% of your gas. You can't pledge any more than 70%. We did take 1 month, I think it was March, we took it down just a little bit because on the 5-year average, 70% kind of hit us. So that's the deal. It will be a 30-year deal on 70%, and it's titled prepay, but it's really a discount. And the discount back in 2008 was like 40 cents. There was a discount done earlier at another organization. It was, I think, 53 cents. They're hoping around 60 cents on this discount is what they're hoping for. It will be resettled again in 5 to 7 years, and you'll look out again. And if that discount drops, because you're only doing a 25-year piece instead of a 30-year piece, there'll probably be the option to go ahead and make it a 30-year again, so you could evergreen this thing if you wanted to in blocks of 5s. So that's what we're asking for is the discount. And approving this resolution finishes the, I think, all the approvals to get it done.
Save the citizens some money. Help keep our infrastructure.
Do we have a motion and a second? Excellent. Seeing a motion and a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Resolution 3575, IMGA Agreement Authorization passes. Resolution 3576, Visi Sewer Contract. Councilman Washington, would you read that for us?
Yes, yes. A resolution of the City of Fulton, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to sign all necessary documents in relations to a contract with Visual Sewer of Missouri, LLC, for sewer evaluation and rehabilitation services in the amount of and not to exceed $300,000 and establishing an effective date. I make a motion to adopt resolution number 3576 at this council meeting tonight.
Second.
Any questions? This is pretty straightforward, something that we do every year.
I thought I saw something in the deal here before this. Nope, I'm mistaken, it's on something else. Never mind. The figure was about the same.
Yes, the figure has remained pretty constant. The city initially went into an agreement with Bisbee Sewer in 2019. All of our renewals did expire, so we did bid that back out. And again, we strongly support continuing with this project. It's really important that we camera our lines and try to proactively address any concerns. That way we can hopefully avoid any kind of backup situations if possible.
And then we get this like at a price, where we join with several other communities and get a different rate on this? Is this one of those or something? Is that, I'm thinking something else? No?
This is specific to Fulton.
Okay, thank you.
Seeing a motion and a second, all those in favor to pass Resolution 3576, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Resolution 3576, Busy Sewer Contract, passes. Moving on to ordinances. Bill number 1746, rezoning 720 State Highway O. Councilman West, could you read that for us?
Yes, ma'am. Bill number 1746, ordinance number blank, rezoning 720 State Highway O. An ordinance reclassifying a tract of land located 720 State Highway O in Fulton, Missouri from its current zoning designation R2 residential to C2 commercial under the zoning code and establish an effective date. I move that bill number 1746 be moved for second reading at our next regularly scheduled, or our next meeting. Let's put it that way.
Second.
And it does look like the planning and zoning was in support of this and recommended moving on to the next reading. All those in favor of moving to second reading at the next council meeting for bill number 1746, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That moves to second reading at the next council meeting. Moving on to second readings, bill number 1744, schedule of fees and charges, rate book amended, Parks and Rec. Councilman Luther is out. Councilman Stone, would you be willing to read that for us?
Yes. Bill number 1744, schedule of fees and charges, otherwise known as the rate book, amended, Parks and Recreation. An ordinance amending the 2025 schedule of fees and charges for the City of Fulton's Parks and Recreation Department and establishing an effective date. I make a motion to move bill number 1744 for third reading at tonight's meeting.
All those in favor of moving bill number 1744 for third reading at tonight's meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Councilman Stone, would you read that for us again?
Yes, ma'am. Bill number 1744, schedule of fees and charges, rate book, amended, Parks and Recreation. An ordinance amending the 2025 schedule of fees and charges for the City of Fulton's Parks and Recreation Department and establishing an effective date. I make a motion to place bill number 1744 for final passage at tonight's meeting.
All those in favor of passing bill number 1744 at tonight's council meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Henchy,
Yes.
Mr. Luther, Ms. Nelson,
Yes.
Mr. Clue,
Yes.
Mr. Stone,
Yes.
Mr. Washington,
Yes.
Mr. West,
Yes.
Mr. Combs. You're going to get fired. He's absent. 6 council members affirmative.
Moving on to bill number 1745, schedule of fees and charges, rate book amended, airport. Councilman Henchy, would you be willing to read this for us?
Yes, Madam Mayor. Bill number 1745, schedule of fees and charges, rate book amended, airport. An ordinance amending the 2025 schedule of fees and charges of the City Fulton Airport and establishing an effective date. I make a motion to place bill number 1745 for third reading at this council meeting.
Second.
I would like to make note that we do have a couple of council members out, which is really unfortunate. I know that this has been something that we've talked a lot about and we've discussed a lot. Although we do have those council persons out and I would like them to have a vote, I also feel like as much as we've gone in depth about this, I would love to see that the council that's up here pass it. And that is totally up to everybody sitting here. I do have a motion and a second on the floor for third reading at tonight's meeting. All those in favor say aye.
I'm sorry, can we have some discussion?
Oh, yes, I'm so sorry. Please, let's discuss it.
The proposed charge, the rate increase is 10% is what we're voting on tonight. And while that's kind of where we've settled, at least for the tenants, I do want to make sure going forward, whether this is passed tonight or passed at the next meeting, that before rate increases for our tenants are put into place next year, that we do a large financial analysis of the airport. The airport supports many, many more people than just those that are the tenants at our hangars. And so we can't place all of the financial responsibility of the airport on the tenants of the hangars. We need to acknowledge that there are, as Mrs. DeLashman mentioned, there is a halo effect, and we know it. We just haven't been able to quantify it, but there is a huge halo effect of the economy for Fulton and Callaway County with our airport. And we need to acknowledge that that halo comes to us in terms of sales tax. And so we're going to have general revenue that is going to support the airport. And it's not, it's not subsidizing, it's not covering somebody's hobby, it's not any of that. It's acknowledging that our economy depends upon the airport and benefits from the airport, and the way we can then fold that back into our budget is acknowledging those general revenue funds to help support all of the airport items. And so I hope over the next few months there is a large, financial analysis done and lots of input on how the airport can continue to service our community and how our municipality can continue to service the airport.
Okay. Thank you for those words, Mr. Stone. I would like to thank you for that idea of the QR code or something. The QR codes are very easy to make nowadays. I think that's a great suggestion. It might be something we consider for some other areas around town. Tanglewood Golf Course comes to mind as we get a lot of outside visitors, to try to capture that information there as well. So Recplex maybe, but I'm thinking, I know people come from out of town to fly in. They also go to the golf course because people that play golf like to go to different golf courses, for the different challenges. So that might be another place we would consider something of that nature. I think that was an excellent idea, and I appreciate that.
I was actually going to say the same thing. I appreciate everybody showing up to the meetings too. I know that this is something that you guys are all really passionate about, and we appreciate as a council hearing from everybody. I also think that it's a great idea for the QR codes. That's brilliant.
Answer everyone we go to, because it ultimately helps that community that we go and spend our money. It helps them know.
Yeah, it's tangible. You can put a number on it, and that makes it so much more.
You can't see that there, so it's hard for you guys to make those decisions.
Yeah.
Because you're not seeing the other part that comes in.
Absolutely. I really appreciate you bringing that to the council. Any other discussion? Okay, we have a motion and a second for third reading at tonight's council meeting. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Would you be willing to read that again, Councilman Hinchy?
Yes, Madam Mayor. Bill number 1745, Schedule of Fees and Charges Rate Book, amended airport. an ordinance amending the 2025 schedule of fees and charges for the Fulton's Airport and establish an effective date. I make a motion to place bill number 1745 for final passages at this council meeting.
Second?
Any further discussion? We've heard bill number 1745 read 3 times. I have a motion and a second on the table. I would also like to note that I know that Councilman Luther very much wanted to be a part of this, and due to some work conflicts, he wasn't able to be here. But I do want to acknowledge the fact that he works closely with the airport, and he feels really strongly and really passionately about this. And so I know that we're all disappointed that he couldn't be a part of this discussion. But I do, again, feel it's important that we as a council are able to see this through to fruition. So I have a motion and a second.
Madam Deputy Mayor, just
Yes.
one other comment. We need to establish some sort of formal communication, whether it be a board or a commission or scheduled meeting or whatever. We need to reestablish a formal communication, monthly, bi-monthly, something with the tenants and the users of our airport. That way we can get their input and continue these conversations.
With a council person present.
Yes.
My other point is, I meant to bring up earlier, is I think we need to, I know we've got a master plan. I'd kind of ask Mrs. Doyle to put an executive summary together of that, because I think it's pretty voluminous, and I haven't taken the time to go pull it down and look at it myself to see if maybe that's already there, to see what is the grand plan. But I think we should continue to pursue ground leases for people to build hangars, et cetera, whatever we can do to make that, and then even more people will come in there, and we'll have a better economic impact. Because we can't just necessarily keep raising rates in order to make ends meet for that, to Mr. Stone's point.
And there's also been discussion about building housing out by there,
Mhm.
which would support that area.
Yeah.
I mean, there's many, many things that we can look at. And we're never going to be able to support it on the backs of the tenant leases. We're going to have to acknowledge and find other ways.
Correct.
Communication is very important between. We have to keep our minds open and communicate to get things done together.
I know it was mentioned about the importance that to receive revenue is being able to supply the fuel, having a station or having things that those can come in and fly in and spend money on their fuels here, things like that. I guess something, as you said, to look into as well as revenue too.
Excellent. We have a motion and a second on the table to pass bill number 1745 at tonight's meeting. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Kathy, would you do a roll call vote for us, please?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Luther? Ms. Nelson?
Yes?
Ms. Reclue?
Yes?
Mr. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Washington?
Yes.
Mr. West?
Yes.
Mr. Combs? Mr. Hinchey?
Yes.
6 council members affirmative.
Thank you. Bill number 1745 passes. Announcements. Election Day is Tuesday, April 8th. As I stated before, it is your right to get out and vote. Please, please, please do so. Your local elections are so very important. These are the people that represent you directly. The polls are open from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. All of the Fulton voters in Ward 1 through 4 will vote at Fulton City Hall for this election. Please take note of that. That is different. Everybody will vote at Fulton City Hall. Spring Cleanup Week is April 14th through the 18th, along with regular pickup routes. Contact the Solid Waste Department with any questions. That number is 573-592-3176. Our next council meeting will be 4/14/25 at 6:30. I'm sorry,
7,
at 7.
thank you.
Yes. The council meeting will be at 4/14, on 4/14/25 at 7. There will not be a work session. And any other comments?
Yes. One, the spring cleanup, is there an event on
April the 12th.
the Saturday?
Yes.
The 12th, okay.
Yes, thank you.
So we need to really be promoting that. And shameless plug, I'm sure there's others going on, St. Peter's Fish Fry on April 11th and April 4th and April 11th. If you are interested in having a very good dinner. Mr. Hinchy cooks, I do not. And I think there's, Optimus has one on
but I
Good
can't
Friday.
remember.
Optimus is on Good Friday, which would be the 18th, I guess. Is that the high school?
And St. Peter's does not have a fish fry on that time. We do not
Right.
compete with them, so
right.
we've worked that out.
Excellent. Any other announcements?
I would just like to say, I appreciate all the people who come and address us. If we don't hear from the people, we don't know. And so thank you very much for coming and voicing your opinions. I'd love to see more people come.
Thank you, Councilman Hinchy. There is a need for executive session tonight to deal with legal action, cause of action, and litigation. Discuss hiring, firing, discipline, promotion of employee, public governmental body. And I would look for a motion to enter in executive session.
So moved.